YouTube, what's going on, man? It's Father Dark. And if you're not excited about it, I recommend you go ahead and get excited because at this point, it's Wednesday now when I'm recording this. So we're only a couple of days out from the season 2 release for Marvel Rivals. And in celebration or whatever you want to call it that, or just in preparation, while we're kind of in the wait room for that, I wanted to talk about the Hellfire Gala and a lot of the skins because I really love the Hellfire Gala. I've always loved that. I love how everyone comes and they get all classy and they kind of have like these plays that are like different versions of their normal kind of outfits that they have. And just, who doesn't like getting dressed up and going to like fancy events and stuff like that? I'm an introvert, but I still, if I have a reason to get dressed up, I'm all for it. And you have to excuse me because I'm not the best when it comes to describing outfits and different parts of outfits and stuff. And like someone in the past, I don't know who it was, said, I may not understand art or know it, but I know what I like though, right? And I think that goes for most of us. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about some of the different, skins and stuff that I would love to see in the Hellfire Gala. Now, some of these that I bring up, we might actually definitely be getting them because I did see a couple of them in the trailer. But I still want to talk about them anyway. But then a lot of them are ones that they've worn because there's been like 3 iterations of the Hellfire Gala before they had like the Fall of X or whatever it was when Krakoa ended up getting destroyed. But I can kind of save the ending of that for another video if you guys want me to cover that one day. But for the people that have watched this channel and aren't new to this channel, you already know about the Hellfire Gala. I've talked about it in previous videos, but for those of you that are new and don't really know what the Hellfire Gala is, you just kind of like heard about it, but you don't really understand what it is. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of talk about that for a second and what it is. But like I said, if you aren't new and you have heard about it before, etc., you can just go ahead and skip in about 2 minutes because that'd probably be about how long it takes me to kind of cover that. But like I said, so for the people who don't know what the Hellfire Gala is, basically Emma Frost started this around the time when the X-Men were living on Krakoa, and Krakoa, that's going to be the new map that we're getting. And Krakoa is basically like just a little brief history. It's an actual like living thing. It was like something the X-Men fought years ago, and the original X-Men team actually was trapped by this monster or something like that. I forget exactly how it happened, but they were trapped by it. And then, Professor X ended up, sending some more mutants out. I think it was like Wolverine, Colossus, Storm, maybe some other people. And he goes to, he sends them out and they go to fight it. But they ended up, long story short, you jump to like modern day of like the modern time of X-Men times. And the island had actually become like, a friend of theirs. And they actually used this island to live on simply because, with the X-Men, they're always being hunted. I've never really understood that because what's really different from like a mutant that has superpowers versus like just the normal superheroes that have superpowers? And then you'll have people that are like heroes, like you think about like Spider-Man, right? Nope, everybody likes Spider-Man. He wasn't an issue except for like, Jonah Jameson or whatever. But shy of that, everybody loves Spider-Man. It wasn't a big deal, right? And then they ended up finding out that he was actually a mutant later on down the road. And then they were just kind of like, oh man, Spider-Man's a mutant. Let's hate him now, for a period of time or whatever. I've just always found that to be very weird, like why it's specifically the hate. Maybe it's because like they don't get their powers on accident. It's like humankind sees them as a threat because they're like the evolution of people or whatever, but whatever, right? So nonetheless, though, they live on Krakoa. Krakoa was a place that they kind of taken out for themselves because they're basically like, look, we can be separated from the rest of mankind, to the extent that we can be, still living on the same planet, but. Yeah, they lived on Krakoa, and Emma Frost started the Hellfire Gala along with some other people, but she was pretty much like the main person that hosted it and stuff. And basically what they would do is they would discuss like, mutant politics and different things, and they would choose who was going to be like the official X-Men team for that year or whatever the case was. So it holds a lot of relevance, and a lot of people, of course, it's like a mutant kind of like thing and get together, but there's a lot of people that are, cool with the mutants and friends and stuff. Obviously, you got Tony Stark, Captain America, Thor, just various different people that aren't necessarily mutants, but they still came to the Hellfire Gala because it's just like this massive event, right? So now that we've covered that, let's go ahead and get into some of the skins that I definitely want to see. And the first one is Emma Frost with her diamond form. She has like this dress, and I'm going to put these pictures up for you guys, obviously. But this skin, I think that if they release this would just be one of those ones where everybody would want it, right? Even people that don't even want to play Emma Frost would immediately just be like, yo. But I could see how it'd be kind of hard because the dress is kind of revealing, and I don't really know how she would be able to like move around and stuff or do any of that without, giving away too much. But this would definitely be like a skin that I would really love to see, right? And the next skin that I'm going to show is Storm. Storm had two different dresses that she wore. Well, one's not really a dress, but she had two outfits that she wore. And the first one is this one, which is very like reminiscent of her actual outfit that she had. But it just, to me, I think this is also like a really cool skin. And I think they really need to start giving Storm like her more. I know of course they're probably going to give it to her eventually, but I really want them to give her classic just Storm outfit, and the closest thing we have is like the Ivory Breeze one that you get for free from the hero journey thing or whatever it is, right? But I would still love to see this one. And the next one for Storm is the dress that she wore. Somebody had made it specifically for her, but this one I really like it because it has like this. It's almost kind of like this translucent, like lightning kind of like effect to it on the main area of the dress. And I just like, you telling me people wouldn't get this, but really all the Hellfire skins are just absolute fire. And that's the thing, is you're gonna hear me say a lot like this would pay their bills for a year. But I don't see them not having like an infinite money printing machine with these different skins and stuff like that. And honestly, I don't even need like the MVPs and the all that calling cards, all that extra stuff. Like, just sell the skins to me, I'll take them, right? So yeah, this is another skin that I would really like to see. After that, I have the one that I put on the thumbnail for Moon Knight. Now, Moon Knight, I don't believe he actually ever came to the Hellfire Gala. I can't find anything where he came. But the thing is like when they were having the Hellfire Gala, there was a lot of characters that got variant covers for their comic books where they had an outfit that would be something that I guess they would wear to the Hellfire Gala if they want. But it makes sense that Moon Knight, because Moon Knight's he's a little out there, you know what I mean? He's a few crayons short of a full box, you know what I mean? So it makes sense that he's not necessarily worried about showing up to the Hellfire Gala. He's got a bunch of other stuff on his plate, so that makes sense to me. But this skin though has to be one of the cleanest skins in my opinion. And I'm the kind of person where I'm very like minimalistic. Everything in my office, I got the dark gray walls with the I painted all the trim and the doors and stuff black and everything. Everything in here is matching. The only thing that's really out of place, I'd say, is like the green plants. But I mean, who has a problem with like plants and stuff, right? It's nice, especially when you're introvert. You definitely need those plants for the fresh air. But the point I'm making is that this Moon Knight skin is just clean, and it just looks. In my opinion, it's like one of the best skins that I've ever seen for any character. It's just so clean. And I say one of the best. It's like probably top 5. But if they release this, I would probably become a Moon Knight main for a period of time. Like, this is just a ridiculously clean skin, and it really wouldn't be hard for them to make. And I think it'd be really cool if they made the skin and they made it like, you know how they make certain skins and they actually look like they're a comic book, a version of a skin versus it having like the same theme as all the rest of the skins. I would just love to see that. So yeah, but after that, another skin that I really love that's also a really simple skin, but Psylocke skin. Now this one is like, she kind of has like this, it's like a hybrid like ninja, but she has like the black dress that's, it doesn't cover like the sides and stuff, but it's got like the long gloves on it with like she has like the butterfly kind of like thing on her face that's clear with the, whatever you want to call that little mask that covers the bottom half of your face. So yeah, this skin, absolute gas. I'd love to see that one. Next one. Now this skin, I think that we are going to be getting this one because you don't actually see the full thing in the trailer, but at one point, actually, you might have seen the full thing in the trailer. I can't remember if they showed it, and I have to go back and watch it again, but I feel like I only remember seeing like a little over the shoulder camera view of Thor in this one. And they have some pretty good skins for Thor already, like they show Thor some love, but this one just looks, I don't know, I just feel like this is a sick skin for Thor, and I feel like it looked really cool versus all of his other ones that are very, Thor with his normal armor type of deal. So yeah, love to see that one. And this one also is another one that we're definitely getting. I've seen it. I think this one might be a Battle Pass skin. I could be wrong, though. I thought when I saw the lineup that it was going to be in the Battle Pass, but I could be wrong. Like I said, I have to go back and relook at a lot of this stuff, though. Like I said, I'm just showing skins that I personally like. But this one for Black Widow, I've never had a reason to ever care about playing Black Widow. I probably had the least amount of time played with her of any of the 37 characters that we currently have. But this one, I would get this one, and I would rock this one, not going to lie. Namor, love Namor. As much as I love playing Spider-Man, sometimes you're not going to play Spider-Man. Maybe it's like a ranked match, whatever, and you need to play Namor. And this one right here is just clean. This is a clean suit. And then it's got the theme where it's got the, the little whatever for like the fish thing on it and stuff like that. I mean, come on. It's just clean. These are all clean skins, right? Next after that, we have another Emma Frost skin. Now, this is the one that Emma Frost wears when she's like talking to people in the Hellfire Gala. At least it was for like the first one, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But this one's just a clean dress, just clean white. I really like the design. I like how it has like the diamond cutouts and stuff, like how all these skins still kind of like, or not skins, but these outfits kind of like fit their, like the theme of whatever it is that they do or their abilities or whatever. So this one, excuse me, I would definitely like to see this one for like moneymaker all day long. Now this skin right here, I know people are going to say, Magic gets so many skins. She's got so many skins. Yeah, but they clearly sell. Like, just a little secret, and not even a secret, but just for the people that don't know, when you see a character in a game get like a lot of skins, it's because they sell. You know, like that's what it is. Just from a business standpoint, they're going to create a lot of skins for someone that people like to buy skins for. Whenever they release Magic skins, any of the videos I do about them, they always get a lot of views, always get a lot of people that are talking about them. And I think that's kind of funny, actually, because when the game first came out, no one really played Magic. It was like a big joke. I made a video about, you know, what your character says about you. And when I was talking about Magic, I had actually, you know, referenced that, like, you know, you and the other 4 Magic mains, you know, tend to be like this or whatever the case was. But this one, though, this is fire, right? This is, I mean, just putting this in a thumbnail or just the picture alone is enough where people are like interested and go, man, what is that? And if they actually gave her like the tail with the horns and made her sword blue, money printer all day long, right? Now this one, once again, I know Spider-Man has gotten a lot of skins. That's because people love Spider-Man skins. People love Spider-Man. He has carried Marvel on its back for a very long time in regards to like comic books and stuff. So it's you know, even like the fact that when they make video games, they usually will look at Spider-Man. He's kind of like DC's or Marvel's equivalent of Batman, you know, like when, not saying they're similar characters, but in regards to like popularity and how like that's the reason why there's so many movies and you know, TV shows and just so many different things revolving around Spider-Man, because who doesn't like if you don't like Spider-Man, I low-key don't even trust you. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's just kind of weird. But this one is absolute gas. The way he has like the glowing red webs on the bottom of his feet and on his fingertips, and the rest of it's kind of like this dark purple black kind of like color, and it just has like the spider legs on it, and the eyes are like also glowing. This suit is just easily one of my favorite Spider-Man suits of all time, right? This next one, Captain America. Now, we did see this one in the trailer. This one, simple, but I love it though. I think this would be a really cool skin for Cap to see him running around in and stuff with the pinstripe suit. And, you know, it just looks like it's definitely from his like original time, time frame and stuff of like when he, you know, first came out, right? Back in like the, I believe it was 40s or 50s. But yeah, this one's another one that's just really, really clean. Really like it. Can't wait to see it. And this last one is Scarlet Witch. Now, we have one that's kind of similar. The one that came in the Battle Pass this season in Season 1 looks kind of similar to this. But I would love if they made the Scarlet Witch one, like her hair was actually flowing and it also had that kind of cosmic, like, thing going on with it. I'd really love to see that one. So, and that pretty much about wraps it up as far as skins go. So I just wanted to kind of cover like certain skins that I really like that I would really love to see. Like I said, the Magic one, the Psylocke one, the Spider-Man one, and, you know, any of the Storm skins, the Diamond Emma Frost, which like I said, I know that's kind of hard to pull off because it's a very like revealing dress where it seems like if the wind blew even remotely, it's gonna, you know, show stuff that's not necessarily appropriate for a game, you know, that sometimes children are playing and have access to. So I get that. But, you know, like I said, let me know in the comments like what kind of skins you guys like want to see. I know there's probably some that I've forgotten. I have to be honest. I read the X-Men comic books here and there, and I only keep up with stuff that's like really important, like big, you know, points in their history and you know, things that really turn the tide and stuff as far as like the storyline goes for them. I don't sit there and like religiously read every single, there are too many. I mean, I'd be willing to wager there's as many X-Men as there are like Marvel characters in total. There aren't, you know, X-Men. There's just, it's kind of like an endless thing with them. So, you know, like I was saying, you know, Spider-Man and the X-Men have pretty much like carried Marvel on, you know, on their backs for like the longest time now, pretty much since they went bankrupt back in the 90s. So, you know, but like I said, let me know in the comments, like if there's other skins that you'd want to see, if there's stuff that you're interested in, whatever the case may be. I love hearing from you guys. A lot of you, you know more than I do in regards to stuff like this. I can't, you know, I'm one person. I can't know everything. But, you know, like I said, I love hearing from you guys. I love learning from you guys, et cetera, et cetera. Also, one thing I want to say too, my previous video, I have to make a, I guess, editorial note or whatever the case is. The last video I made, I was talking about the fact that I didn't know if Ultron was coming. And like I said, I had done a lot of research, couldn't seem to find anything. And I had actually watched the developer video that they released and stuff like that. But I have to be honest, sometimes it's kind of hard to like understand like everything they're saying. So if they don't really like delve too much into, you know, certain things or whatever, if they kind of briefly touch on something, it's very easy for me to miss that stuff. So, you know, like I said, they actually did, I think it was like at the 125 mark or something in the video, they did actually say that Ultron was coming mid-season. So that's not even something that's up for debate. They have confirmed it. I was wrong and I apologize. I have zero problem ever admitting on this channel if I make a mistake or whatever the case is. To me, that's what you do as a leader, you know, as someone who, you know, is secure in themselves. You're gonna just come out and be like, hey, made a mistake. I apologize. I'll learn from it. Try to not do it again in the future, but I am a human being at the end of the day. I don't know everything, so you have to forgive me for that. But nonetheless, like I said, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Are you ready for season 2? Are you excited? Do you like that Emma's coming? Are you more excited for Ultron? Are you just excited for different skins? Are there skins that I didn't cover that you hope that are coming to the game that you really enjoy? Whatever the case may be, like I said, I love hearing from you guys. But that's all I got for this one. So yeah, but it's dark and I'm out. I'll catch you guys in the next one.